Welcome back to Wrestling Ruined Our Marriage. My name is Tanner, and this here is Cammie.
Hi, guys.
So we want to go back and talk about Raw, which was on September 13th. Is that correct?
Day before my birthday. Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday. The biggest part of Raw was Big E finally cashing in the Money in the Bank contract against Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, and he was successful.
So Bobby Lashley gets, everybody says they thought it looked real. I didn't see anything where he actually looked like he was really injured when he was putting the people through the announce table. It looked like it was all fake, and he even was like switching which legs he was limping on before he got to the ring. Mm-hmm. But I guess my big question is, now that Big E is the champion, where do you think it's going to go? What do you think is going to happen? I'll go first with Bobby Lashley. What do you think is going to be next for him? A lot of people online are saying that he had this great title run, and it was a good passing of the torch from him over to Big E. I completely disagree. His title run was awful. The worst thing they did was end the Hurt Business for him. They've kind of been acting like it's still a thing, like MVP still wears the Hurt Business necklace. That's all they have to it. They trashed it. Then they put Bobby Lashley with a bunch of girls that dance with champagne. And then they got rid of that because they realized it wasn't working. Then they tried moving him up to something different. They haven't been able to find a character for him yet. He has yet to have a memorable match for me yet. He has yet to even really have a good or a great match to me yet. I haven't been into...
Character's compelling. At least in my head, it's really not that compelling.
Yeah, agreed. And MVP's not Paul Heyman. He's a pretty good manager, but he's not going to pull the entire WWE universe into Bobby Lashley. It hasn't been going. So
Paul Heyman's a hard person to compare anybody to, though.
Right. So I haven't been too excited about anything with Bobby Lashley since our podcast started. I've been saying, please have Big E cash in and go become the Raw champion. I thought he was going to be a much better champion. I think it's, he is a babyface champion instead of Bobby Lashley's more of a heel. He's kind of. Roman Reigns is definitely a big heel on there. But he's kind of the babyface. He's got a pretty good backing already with his New Day time. I don't know if he's going to continue with New Day or not. We'll get to that here in a little bit. But what are your thoughts on Lashley? Where does it go from here?
I personally think what you're going to see now is, you had a couple weeks ago Goldberg saying, "I'm not going after the championship. I'm going after his soul," right?
Yeah, I think it's because a lot of people don't really want to see Goldberg be champion anymore. So maybe they're finally listening.
Maybe, but I think that is going to be the biggest match probably ever for Bobby Lashley. But that's what it's going to be. It's going to be some redemption story for Goldberg and taking souls. And then I think Bobby Lashley might fade away, which is kind of sad because I do think he does have a lot of potential, and I don't know. I didn't mind his run as a title holder. I thought he was good. I have no complaints. But I also think Big E, if you ask me, has way more energy than Bobby Lashley. It was a little lackluster when it came to Bobby Lashley, but Big E is fun. He's a lot of fun.
You want to compete with, that AEW brand. You got to have a champion that people buy into. People are buying into your tag champions way more than your WWE champion over on Raw. They would rather see RK Bro more than Lashley. He brings nothing to the table. So if you can keep RK Bro there and keep that stable going and keep them being a really big draw and pull, and then you can get somebody like Big E into the mix and have people really want him winning, and now you create some great heels to come after him. That's going to be the way to go. So I think
they have a good opportunity to build both the tag team champs, or just the tag team division, and the champion,
Yeah, hopefully they can take it. So with Bobby Lashley, I kind of agree. I think it's going to be, we'll start going into the Goldberg side of things, and we'll see where he goes from here. I disagree on, that he had a pretty good title run. They couldn't even figure out a character for him. He didn't really draw anybody in. He definitely wasn't pulling in ratings. He just hasn't been that great at all. And I don't know if he, in his entire WWE career, even, before his comeback this time, on the last time, they never really found a great character for him anyways. He's not really this big personality. He has MVP right now. Before that, he had Leo Rush when he was just bending over and taking pictures of his glutes or whatever the hell they were trying to do there. They haven't figured out anything that people have been able to buy into. The closest thing they had to being a character he could be was the Hurt Business to me. He's he's the muscle for the Hurt Business. It's kind of the same, character as they have for with the Shield. You had Roman Reigns, which was the muscle. You had your other two guys in there. You didn't really have the same two guys as obviously Rollins and Ambrose at this time, but
I loved the Hurt Business. That was so sad to have them break up because you saw so much potential there as well. So
they've kind of done some weird things, like they broke them up. And then your other two guys, they're not there. They have that, I can't remember what they were calling him before, but Papa something, and now he's Commander Aziz. That guy is a huge guy, too. I think he has more potential than Omos, but
maybe.
Anyways, okay, so Lashley, we both kind of think it goes into a Goldberg feud and then just kind of vanishes from there because they haven't figured out what the hell to do with him. Okay, so that'll wrap up the Lashley side of things. What do you think happens with Big E? What's in the future for him if you were to guess?
That's a really hard one. I could honestly see there being a really good title run with him, and then I could see the New Day getting the championships and that being their reunion. But as far as I don't know about a potential opponent. I'm not 100% sure right now. The Usos, obviously, but I think that's more.
That's for Survivor Series.
Yeah. I think for Extreme Rules, I think there's going to be a match between the New Day and the Usos.
But on Survivor Series, they always do the brands.
Yeah,
right?
The champ versus champ, yeah.
I am a little bit opposite of most people on the Survivor Series stuff. I don't care to see the Raw people versus SmackDown people. I want them to keep Raw versus Raw. I want a championship run with Raw people. I don't care to see Raw versus
Just
SmackDown.
Fix Raw, okay? Just fix Raw.
So, all right.
I'm glad Big E won, though. I think that's going to be really cool. You called it. He's really hard to watch wrestling with because I'm like a child and can't predict anything. And he'll be like, oh, this is what's going to happen. And he'll say it and then it'll happen. So sometimes it's kind of hard to watch it with him.
I don't know if it's really predictions. It's just what I think would be, in, the authorities' words, best for business.
Wow.
But, all right. So for me on Big E, what I want to see happen. So a lot of people were all clamorizing for the New Day versus the Usos. You got to get it out of the way. You're going to have those two face each other. You're going to have, it's got to happen. But I'm not really stoked on that. You have a lot of people saying that this is the opportunity or hoping this is the opportunity for Kofi to, or, Xavier Woods too, but Kofi's the name that's been thrown around more often. Turn heel on everybody, destroy the New Day, and go on a run against Big E.
Yes. I didn't even think of that.
Whatever. I want new heels. I want to see Keith Lee come up and just be this monster big heel. He's got a personality where he just doesn't give a damn. He doesn't have to be like your city sucks and your people suck and this, that, and the other. He just has to be a big presence just like Big E, but the opposite. Mm-hmm. Be the complete. He's a big dude, kind of.
Big E's very happy.
Similar in body styles and stuff, but they could be complete polar opposites and still put on good matches. I think that would be great. I've mentioned my theory on, or my feelings on Elias. I love the guy. I love the character.
Yeah, I wonder what his character's going to be.
He supposedly was dead and coming back for weeks and weeks and weeks, and now he's just dead. They kind of forgot about him. I'm hoping that Elias can jump up and be somewhat in one of the pictures. If it's not that title picture, another one. But you need some new... I think they need to push some new heels. I don't think Lashley's a good enough heel to really push. He needs more character on there. But I would love to see, let's see what Keith Lee can do. Maybe Elias in there just because I'm a big Elias fan. See what other kind of feuds he can come up with.
He really is a huge Elias fan, like big time.
Watch his workouts.
Yeah.
What I think would be best right now, like the immediate, because it's going to take a little while to build up these guys that I want. So it's going to take a while to build up Elias as a championship contender. He's not championship material yet. Keith Lee probably is not yet. He hasn't even wrestled for I don't know how long. I think the most immediate thing to really push Raw and get the ratings going is WWE Draft is coming around soon, and I think the biggest thing, I think the person with the biggest interest in the draft is Kevin Owens. He's on SmackDown right now. He's He's one of my favorites. I love watching him wrestle. The guy, he'll put his body on the line for anything.
Yep.
Having him go back to heel, come back to Raw, being the championship pitcher, and really put on a damn good feud with Big E would be a great thing.
Awesome.
I think he has the most to win in the draft. And in SmackDown, he's still there, but it's just him and Happy Corbin. It's put me over. Like, I actually will pay attention to Happy Corbin right now, mainly because of Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
But I would love to see, Kevin Owens go over to Raw, get this big push. There's rumor that his contract's ending in January, and people are saying, oh, he's going to leave. I don't know why he would leave at this point, but, get him in a good storyline, put him over on Raw, and give him that push. People will back him as a heel or a baby face, so get him on the heel picture. I think that's where I'd like to see.
He's a good heel. He is a good heel.
I would start it with, Kevin Owens. I'd just get that feud started right away, and then at that time I'd start building some other heels up.
That's a good idea.
That pretty much, wraps up that side of things as far as like what I think is going to happen with Lashley, where your thoughts are, and then kind of where we both think is going to happen with Big E, or at least, overall on everything.
What do you think is going to happen with Alexa? Because she interrupted Charlotte this last week, and she everyone. Huh?
I liked her gift.
Yeah, she's like, everyone
She's
needs
happy.
one. Even a conniving little bitch like you needs it.
She's happy.
And, she gave her the Charlie doll, which is on sale at WWE Shop.
Yeah, they got some cool stuff with a little, Jack in the Box.
Yeah, Lily in the Box.
Lily in the Box.
Yeah, it's cool.
As far as thoughts, we'll do a show coming up with our Extreme Rules prediction, since it's coming up soon. The main thing that I wanted to touch on for this one is just the Big E title picture, just because I think that's the biggest port. I mean, there's other stuff on Raw, but that was the biggest takeaway, and I just wanted to get that kind of cleared up. But if we throw one out there, spoiler for Extreme Rules, you still have Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler going back and forth. Somehow they're going to get tied into that match, I'm guessing, whether they interfere or not, and that's going to be kind of Alexa's downfall. But
I hope not.
We'll go back into that here in a little bit. Biggest thing was Big E, champion of Monday Night Raw.
Super exciting. Loved it.
Going over to SmackDown for a review soon. Thank you.